Welcome to the JP8 Report. This is James Pierce with the JP8 Report, episode 445. Good morning, America. How's it going out there? Hope everyone's doing fine. We made it to Friday. Yes. Welcome to all the Graham Allen refugees that are hanging around out there waiting for something to watch for the day. He comes back off vacation on Monday, but y'all are welcome to tune in to the JP8 report today. We really greatly appreciate it. Hey, please, if you're watching and you're one of those Graham Allen refugees, okay? I'm one too because I like listening to him, but I just can't listen to him live because I do my show at this time. I go back and listen to him. You know how to do it. You go to where it says JP8 report. You go to the right. You see the bell. You click on the bell. You scroll down and you click follow. Then you'll get me all the time. That's awesome, right? You can alternate between Graham Allen and James Pierce, JP8. One of the two. Okay, cool. And have fun with it. And then please, like button, the thumbs up. Give everybody a thumbs up. All right. So and then chat. If you're in the chat, you want to chat, go for it. The live chat's open. I should be seeing retired Rob 53, Scott's Gray, or Covite for Life in there. So I know it's still kind of early. I know Ricky may not be on there right now because, like on Fridays, y'all know I sign off about 8:50 because I do a morning breakfast with a group of golden oldies because I am getting old. But we all meet together and have some fun. All right, but let's get this going before I run out of time. All right, because 8:50 comes quick. It's already 8:02. All right, so and don't forget the president. Two things happened today besides my podcast. Right, about 5:30ish, 5:45 this afternoon Central Time here in Texas. They're going to do another test launch. They're going to try to test launch the Flight 13. It was scrubbed yesterday due to weather. So that should be about 5:45, I believe, Central Time. And then tonight is the White House Correspondents' Dinner. That was the one that was rescheduled from a couple of months ago that someone tried to get to the president and attack him. Needless attempt on the president's life. And those are the two things happening. Let's see. America 250. This day in 1776, President John Hancock, because he was president of the Second Continental Congress, scolded Major General Philip Schuyler over Army discord, quoting, "should be a necessity of recommending harmony to the officers and troops." All right. General Schuyler, I guess, well, he was rough on the soldiers because of what happened up in Canada, but in the same time, he needed to stand up and be a leader instead of a condemner. All right, but yeah, that's what happened. June, and hindsight's 2020, also, right? But that was July 24th, 1776. All right, armament shop. Whether you're looking for your first firearm, upgrading your setup, or need expert service, Jason at the Armament Shop is Copper's Cove's premier source for all things shooting. Browse our wide selection of pistols, rifles, and shotguns, backed by top-tier gunsmithing for repairs, along with reloading supplies and professional cleaning to keep your firearm in peak condition. Need a transfer? We make FFL transfers fast, easy, and affordable. Need your CHL? Jason can handle those classes. He has over 3 decades of experience. Visit the Armament Shop today at 115A West Avenue D in Coppers Cove, or call or text 254-560-2023, or visit www.armamentshop.com. That's www.armamentshop.com. The Armament Shop, your safety is our priority. Alrighty, let me finish getting set up. All right, so now we got the Iran update. There was explosions heard across Iran last night. It was the 13th night of attacks from the U.S. Against the area around the Strait of Hormuz, and it looks like it spread inland even more. We need to get this over with. Uh, Drop the hammer on them and crush them. Don't let's come back to the negotiating table. No, put your foot down, drop the hammer, and take them out. Make them be like Ulysses S. Grant. His nickname is Unconditional Surrender Grant. Make them surrender. All right? Make it so heavy on the government of Iran that it collapses flat out. All right? We cannot afford to let them have a nuclear weapon. And then Iran rejects a ceasefire proposal that was given to the Iraqi foreign minister to give to the Iranians. They rejected it. Oil dropped overnight, as we will see in oil prices. President Trump said that frozen Iranian funds will be used for ship repairs of the civilian ships that were mined and droned inside the Strait of Hormuz over the last several months. There was a B-1 bomber used against Iran last night. Iran warned the United Kingdom against allowing Americans to use the Diego Garcia naval base. That would mean that Iran states that they have ballistic missiles that can reach 2,500 miles. All right. Israel's defense minister said Iran would face a crushing blow if it attacks Israel again. Kuwait was attacked yesterday. There have been 12 vessels diverted past the blockade, and one has been disabled since the blockade went back into effect. And Iran actually flew IRGC commanders, that'd be Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps commanders and equipment to Yemen on July 13th, which goes to say, like I was saying, crushing blow, drop the hammer now. There should be no aircraft leaving Iranian airspace during combat activities at all. So we need to stop playing little little footsie games with the Iranians and just take them out. All right. The Dow Jones yesterday evening closed down 506.90 points. It settled in at 51,711.65. West Texas Intermediate was at $90 a barrel, and then Brent crude oil is at $97.81 a barrel. Right? They were talking about on the news that oil hit $100 a barrel. Well, it dropped back in over 9 hours. Matter of fact, about 4:00, about 4:15 Central Time this morning, Brent crude oil was at 96.70, and right now it's at 97.81. So it's still below. If you want a real time view, let me see. Brent crude is at 97.40, so it dropped back. Okay, so evidently something has cooled down a little bit over there, but that's a good thing. All right, so announcements. We have tomorrow here in Coppers Cove at 11 a.m. We have at the Coryell County Republican Women's monthly meeting at 11 a.m. at 1802 Martin Luther King Drive in Coppers Cove, which is Trinity Worship Center. We have Dr. Mark Fulmer speaking, and he's going to speak on geopolitical implications in the greater context of the red-green axis, which is Islamicism, okay? And then I'm going to actually see if I might be able to record that and upload it as a podcast. So I'll check on that for tomorrow, all right? When I see them tomorrow morning. And then on Monday at 6 p.m. in Harker Heights at Papa's Cafe is West Side Conservative Coalition. Their point of contact is Dennis Faulkner. He's the chair. Really good group if you live in Western Bell County. On Tuesday, the Coryell County Republican Party is meeting at 6 p.m. in Gatesville at the Junction at Route 36. It's a restaurant on Route 36, about 2 miles outside of town on the left. Good food. We're going to be talking about some bylaw changes for our charter and upcoming events as the fish fry on September 26th and the range day they were having on August 29th. The next one is Pints and Politics in Belton on the 6th of August at 6 p.m. at the Dead Fish Grill, 6 p.m. Normal politics with Chip Howe. All right. And then on the 11th of August is the Coppers Cove Conservative Club, our monthly meeting of the second Tuesday every month, 6 p.m. at Giovanni's Restaurant. All right. So that is all of our announcements and the rain update. So Hasan Piker. All right. Hold on. Let me get something to drink. Good old iced tea. I'm not British. All right. I can drink iced tea, not hot tea. All right. I choose to do so because I'm an American. All right. Make everybody upset with me, right? Hasan Piker chooses AOC as preferred 2028 presidential pick, says she's the only potential candidate he likes. This is coming from the guy that now dresses like Mao Zedong. He's the communist premier of China up until I think he died in 1976. Okay, but he led the long march through China before World War II. He led the communist revolution in China and ruled with iron fists. Right. All right, but yeah. So Hasan is a flaming communist, as he is. You know, if you didn't know, he was born in New Jersey, and his parents moved to Turkey. He was raised in Turkey, and then he came back to the United States. And he's famous because he's college educated also, and he's communist. But he has a platform on Twitch. I don't have an account on Twitch. I'm not excited about Twitch. I don't want to go on Twitch. You can go on there if you want. I'm not, right? It's not all bad there because my daughter Rachel, one of her best friends in California, has a Twitch podcast, all right? So they're not all bad, all right? So the other day, Wednesday, Piker was being interviewed on a podcast called Zadeo. Where is it? What's the name of that? Hold it. Oh, yeah. Zeteo. Zeteo. All right. It was an interview, one loser interviewing another loser. Okay. So far left Twitch streamer Hasan Piker selected Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, a.k.a. Sandy Cortez, over a slate of prominent Democrats as his preferred 2028 presidential candidate on Wednesday, arguing AOC would excite the Democrat Party's base and bring infrequent voters to a winning coalition. When asked to choose between Ocasio-Cortez and Ro Khanna as his preferred candidate, Piker immediately selected the New York Congresswoman. AOC is not even a question, Piker said during a Zeteo interview with Mehdi Hasan. Piker made the choice at the end of a rapid-fire exercise that began with Gavin Newsom, Rahm Emanuel, Pete Buttigieg, Kamala Harris, John Ossoff, JB Pritzker, Chris Van Hollen, and Ro Khanna. Piker said Cortez stood apart from the rest of the potential contenders presented to him. AOC is, out of all the people that you mentioned, Piker said, AOC is the only one that I would like. You know, Clinton lost, Harris lost, and AOC will lose too. Okay? So there's a common factor in there. They're all bleeding heart liberals, all right? Because we can get women elected in the Republican Party. They have a hard time going the rest of the way in the Democrat Party. Piker acknowledged that her race and gender would represent electoral obstacles, but rejected the argument that that would make it victory impossible. These are hurdles, yes, but these are hurdles that you can that one can clear. Piker argued Cortez could overcome those barriers by campaigning with conviction and reaching voters who do not regularly participate in elections. Like he was saying to Mandami a couple of days ago that he cussed him out, and then he said he has to press his case harder, be louder, and more forceful when he speaks. He's saying the same thing about Cortez here also. All right. He compared Cortez favorably with Bernie Sanders, whose frequent presidential campaign it would help to elevate the Democrat socialism within the party. It would be a fantastic left candidate, even better than Bernie in many ways. Piker has also offered criticism of Cortez's political presentation. He said she has been effective on social media and willing to take progressive positions in Congress, but argued she could appear too concerned with optics. All right. Like I said earlier, what has she done for her congressional district ever? Because if you look at it, the only thing she's done in her congressional district is help illegal aliens get settled in there. That's all. She hasn't brought jobs. She hasn't brought future. She hasn't brought any progress to anything in her congressional district. She lives off the rhetoric and the potential of becoming a U.S. senator or running for president and getting beat. Okay. The way she carries herself, I think, is a little bit like optics driven, too liberal, too optics driven. Piker said, I think she doesn't harness the populist rage in the way that she communicates. And then Cortez wouldn't respond back. All right. So, what do y'all think? Is anyone in here on the chat or in the comments like AOC as a presidential candidate, other than she's going to get her butt stomped if she does run? All right, that'd be good to know. You know, I was talking to my wife yesterday about some of this stuff, and they had interjected Jasmine Crockett and some of it. I hadn't heard Crockett in a while, right? And I was thinking, I told my wife, you know what the good thing about Jasmine Crockett leaving Congress is right now? Is the fact she doesn't have 5 years in Congress, which means when she leaves Congress, she doesn't get a congressional pension, which saves the country a bunch of money. Just so you know that, right? All right. So next up is James Carville. Like I said earlier, I hate mentioning his name. It gives me that feeling in the back of my throat as oh man, he's gross even to think about. The only good thing about James Carville is he's a veteran. That's all. That's all. There's nothing else good about the man. But he did make some sense last night, right? He was on a podcast. He was laying down in his little comfy bed on a Zoom call with another podcaster that didn't know how to brush his hair. And they started talking about the future of the Democrat Party, right? And they were talking about the SAVE Act. And evidently, the one guy that was doing the interview, and I forgot who it was. I recognized him, but I can't remember who he was. But he does not like the SAVE Act. Nothing about the SAVE Act he likes at all. But J- James Carville, see, it's hard to say his name, but let me be serious, right? James Carville took offense to that, and he said that the Democrats need to drop their opposition because most of the states already have voter ID. Just get over it so they can get, because it polls about 75%, get over it and take their fight elsewhere, right? Um, so here we go. FoxNews.com, right? Veteran Democrat strategist James Carville warned Democrats Thursday that the American public believes they don't care about voter fraud. The best, well, yes, they do. The best thing they can do is stop fighting against voter ID requirements and move on to other issues. His comments come as Republicans in Congress have been pushing to push the Save America Act, which would create a new federal proof of citizenship mandate in the voter registration process and impose those requirements for states to keep their voter rolls of eligible voters. In addition to requiring photo ID to vote in any federal election. Carville argued that while he believes there is negligible amount of voter fraud, he's wrong, but the president proved that the other night, refusing to put up voter ID safeguards against a terrible is a terrible hill for the Democrats to die on. He's quoted as, "First of all, in Louisiana, you got to show your driver's license to vote," Carville said on Politics War Room. I've have I've have to ask Michael Waldman or Fred Weidemer, does he really think they have that much effect? And voter fraud in the United States is a infinitesimal problem to the extent, I guess, that you would say it exists. Anything could exist if exists on such a minuscule scale. It's been proven hard. It's been proven time and time again, right? But one vote cast illegally disenfranchises another legally cast vote. I just heard that on the Vince show with DOJ civil rights attorney Harmon Dillon. She said one illegal vote in New Jersey canceled out a legally casted vote in New Jersey. So this is why you can't have illegal voters voting in our elections, because they cancel out the votes that they're trying to prevent, right? Uh, he goes on saying, but I don't know if we're not better off saying, okay, well, that's the alternative idea. Bring your gas bill or your light bill or something, because whatever the reason is, these blank polls at 75%. It barely exists, and it just doesn't make any sense. Having said that, we're not going to win the war against some kind of ID. It doesn't make any sense. If we fix anything, maybe if it doesn't fix anything, maybe you just go along with it and move to the next thing, right? Um, his co-host, Al Hunt, that's the guy that I recognized but couldn't think of his name, disagreed, however, claiming we have voter ID in most states. Most states have voter ID. He said in that with the Republican SAVE Act, they're requiring proof of citizenship. Uh, that's only the re-register, okay? Causing hurdles that many people don't have passports. Many people don't actually have their birth certificate, and many women will run into difficulties if they change their surnames when they got married. This guy, he's just making excuses because every woman out there knows that how to change your name on their birth certificate or at the Social Security office. Well, you don't change your name on the birth certificate. You go to a Social Security office, change your name legally like that, right? Uh, it's just a game that they're playing. Did you know you can actually change your name on your Social Security card 10 different times in your life? Okay, uh, so what's her name? Very extravagant woman that was married like 9 times. One person twice. I can't remember who her name was. Uh, Very beautiful, extravagant woman. She lived to be like 90 years old. Liz Turner, or I can't remember. But yeah, you can change your name on a Social Security card 10 different times. I've only done it once because I'm James. I don't need anything else. All right. My wife has done it twice. Zeitz and then Pierce, right? All right, next is the White House and John Thune are squaring off against each other. Patience is running out. You get the votes, or it's Caroline Leavitt, John Thune, and the President of the United States, all about the Save America Act, right? Because we need it. We know we need it, right? So the president is patience with Senate Majority Leader John Thune and fellow Republicans is running out as the chamber fails to advance legislative priorities. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said yesterday, because we're getting closer and closer to Labor Day, and after Labor Day, there's some states that execute their election period, not election day, but their election period, because it lasts like 3 months or something like that, maybe 4 months. Uh, his patience is running out, she told reporters in a press conference. Trump is particularly frustrated that GOP-controlled chamber does not cannot pass the Save America Act, which aims to require those that want to vote in federal elections to provide proof of citizenship to register and a photo ID to cast a ballot. Thune, with 51 GOP senators, does not have 60 votes required to pass the bill and faces long odds that the Senate parliamentarian would allow it to pass by a simple majority. This is where I stop at, okay? Get on the phone and get votes, right? Thune said in response to Leavitt's comment. He also said he doesn't have votes to change the filibuster. Okay. Mr. Thune, it is not Caroline Leavitt's job to get your votes. All right? It's the president's job to appoint, but whose job is it in the House and the Senate to get people to vote? That would be the whip. You have the majority whip and you have the minority whip. The whip is when you whip them into line, okay? It's a really old term. It really needs to be changed, but that's what they use. The majority whip in the Senate is John Barrasso. He's from Wyoming, all right? His job is to whip up the Republican Congress to pass bills. I don't understand how you get the conference chair, you get the whip, and the majority leader. They can't marshal up enough people to vote for legislation. And there's nothing saying that John Barrasso has just to stop with the Republican conference. He can still recruit people from the Democrat side, just like the Democrat whip can easily reach over the aisle and try to get Republicans and pluck them out for some of the stuff they like. It is John Barrasso's job. It is John Thune's job to get this legislation over the river, all right? So it can be, so we can have the Save America Act. Can happen. It will happen. It happened. Let's put it like this: in 1964, when the Civil Rights Act passed, the Democrats were caught in a filibuster position, And what did the Democrat Party do? They reached over party lines and got the Republicans to come over, and they passed the Civil Rights Act. Okay, because remember, Republicans are the ones that freed the slaves. Believe it or not, right? Regardless of what the Smithsonian Institute tells you. All right, we're halfway through this morning. If you're watching, give me a follow. You know how to get to the follow. Go to the alarm bell, scroll down, right? And then give me a like for the episode today. But John Thune, who should not be the majority leader in November after we win our majority back at all, he needs to be replaced. He's expected to be replaced. We just got to make sure we don't put a rhino in. Just because you say you're Republican doesn't mean you're Republican, okay? I'll go off on a tangent real quick. Last night, I got a phone call from someone that one of the ladies that filed for city council, she's a 2R Republican, which means she's voted in the two past elections as in the Republican primary as a Republican, right? It doesn't mean that she's Republican. It just means she voted in the primary. Well, yesterday afternoon, she went to a civics Rotary Club. Let's put a spade, and our party chair was there for the Republican Party, and she brought a couple of visitors with her. This girl is a Republican, a hard Republican, and she brought the leader of the Coppers Cove Democrats with her to a meeting in Notary. And this girl is Republican, and she's running for city council, and she brought the Democrat president of the Coriel of the Coppers Cove Democrats and another lady that was. They were both big in the LBGT movement here in Coriel County, right? If you watched the podcast I put up a couple weeks ago, she was the lady with the short black hair, I believe. I believe she was the first or the second person that spoke at the citizens forum that I posted up. All right, but she took her and her girlfriend to a Rotary Club meeting and helped represent her. This girl is running for city council. All right, you just because you say you're a Republican does not mean you're a Republican. Dan Bongino says it perfectly clear. Most Republicans are Democrats, and no Democrats are Republicans. Flat out. That says it all. Totally. All right? But so John Thune needs to get off his fourth point of contact, along with John Barrasso, and they need to find the votes, whether trying to pull some Democrats over and or marshal up the Republicans in force. All right. And he also said that he did it say on this one, or did I read it elsewhere? Earlier today, Thune again cast doubt on the chambers approving a major reconciliation package the House approved that included key election integrity provisions. He doesn't even want to pass the reconciliation bill that the House of Representatives put together. Doesn't even want to try at all. He needs to be replaced like ASAP. All right. Next. Court system, right? Before we get to the court system, South Carolina Governor and Congressman Mark Sanford filed to run for the U.S. Senate out of South Carolina. It's the seat that used to be Lindsey Graham's until he died a week and a half ago. Congressman Fry, Congressman Norman have both filed, along with Senator Darlene Graham, for the election because the primary is on August 11th. And then this guy threw his hat in the ring. The only thing I got to tell you was that back in the mid-2000s, like 2009, Mark Sanford left the state of South Carolina and the United States without telling his protective detail or anyone in his family, and he flew to Brazil or Argentina because he had a girlfriend that was Argentine, right? And he spent a whole week with her, and nobody knew where Mark Sanford was. So if you are in South Carolina, Mark Sanford is living a pipe dream. There's no way he should ever be able to serve the United States Senate. He shouldn't have been reelected into the House of Representatives. The sitting governor popped smoke and disappeared for a whole week, and nobody knew. So he can go spend a week with his uh, mistress girlfriend in another continent. So Mark Sanford should never be even in consideration. He's living a pipe dream. Who would vote for a man like that? Uh, Man, that is unbelievable. Talk about a waste of oxygen. He's about the same age as as uh, uh, Ralph Norman, all right? So these guys are in their 70s. We can't get any young people to run for office. Man. Okay, so in Tennessee, right next door to South Carolina, right? Federal appeals court, federal court uh, just authorized the state of Tennessee to exercise their recently passed new congressional district boundaries. Uh, Man, I'm losing, I can't breathe again. A 3-judge panel of Middle District of Tennessee on Thursday upheld the state's redraw of House maps to eliminate the sole Democrat leaning seat around Memphis. Opponents of the redraw have argued that the maps violate the 14th Amendment and constitute legal racial gerrymandering. Okay? But the Supreme Court said, no, you're wrong. You cannot have majority minority congressional districts because you cannot base your districts based on race. They have to be based on merit, right? Uh, so that is something that really needs to be done. Stephen Cohen is a congressional member in there right now. He's a Democrat. He chose not to run for re-election because he said he can't be elected in a regular congressional district. Hold on, let me see something here real quick. All right, give me a quick second. Oh, all right, never mind. What are we on time? 8:38. All right, back here. I can breathe. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay. So congratulations on the state of Tennessee on their new congressional districts. Stephen Cohen. He can go grab a bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken and watch the election returns because he chickened out on trying. That was no pun intended on that one. I did not. Oh my goodness. So Stephen Cohen chickened out, so now you can get a bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken and watch election results instead of saying I'm worthy of election and I'm going to win my re-election. He decided to quit because he didn't want to run in a Republican-leaning congressional district. All right. Uh, One thing I want to talk about real quick before I run out of time is here in the state of Texas, right? We have in Houston on the Texas scorecard. I got this morning, right? An appeals court. Okay, I'm just going to read this raw straight out because it was late coming out this morning, uh, and yeah, because this is good. Uh, So abortion clinics accused of illegal abortions may continue operations. You can't do that in the state of Texas, all right? But evidently, they say you can, right? The Texas Appellate Court, that one was formed in 2024, in which Greg Abbott appointed the judges. That's why you need to elect your judges to keep these guys out. An appellate court has reversed a temporary injunction blocking a group of Houston area abortion clinics from operating as an abortion network from performing elective abortions and other services as litigation continued. The decision comes as the Fifth U.S. Court of Appeals in Austin, the 15th Court of Appeals in Austin, which Attorney General Ken Paxton has publicly feuded with before. In 2025, the Office of Attorney General received an anonymous email alleging that illegal abortions have been performed at a medical clinic managed by Maria Rojas, a licensed midlife, and a group of related clinics managed by Rojas. The OAG's Medicare Fraud Control Unit began an investigation that ultimately led to the arrest of Rojas and search warrants for the clinics. The warrants were reported to be probable cause affidavits led by lead prosecutor Lieutenant Edward Wilkerson. As a result, Rojas was arrested and criminal proceedings against her remain ongoing. Multiple other individuals were subsequently arrested under the context of the investigation into the alleged abortion network. And he goes on, right? She pled the fifth in regards of the questions that were presented to her. She has that right. She has the Fifth Amendment right and Constitution. On Thursday, the 15th Court agreed with the defendants, reversing Judge Shanley's temporary injunction and remanding the case to proceed on the merits. So that means they didn't actually win, right? This means Rojas and clinics are no longer blocked. They can go back to work and with elective and legal abortions, right? But Ken Paxton's office says it will be appealed to the Texas Supreme Court. All right. So in Texas, we have two courts, two high courts on equal standing. You have the Court of Criminal Appeals and the Texas Supreme Court, right? So the Criminal Court of Appeals hears everything criminal related, right? The Texas Supreme Court hears everything that's policy related. So we have the criminal. So if they were convicted and wanted to get it appealed, it would be appealed to the Court of Criminal Appeals, right? But since it's not, right, and they're appealing the case to keep it from going to trial, so it goes through the other system, goes up to the Texas Supreme Court. And that's where the Ken Paxton's lawyers at the Attorney General's office is going to appeal it to next. All right. But the 15th Court of Appeals was formed in 2024, and it has some appointed judges. And in Texas, all of our judges are elected judges. These guys have just not been able to stand for election yet. All right. And just like with federal judges, I mean, you may appoint someone you think is a conservative, and it turns out they'll be a dud and be a moderate or liberal judge. You're rolling the dice with it. You never really know what you're getting, right? And sometimes they stand the test of time, like Clarence Thomas, or then sometimes they end up like Amy Coney Barrett, and it's like, and they're wishy-washy a little bit, all right? 844. Let's see. What else? So this one, Jamie O'Keefe, if you know who he is, uh, got someone suspended at the Pentagon. So, on a month of Sundays, you could guess that this would happen. And Jamie O'Keefe uh, did an undercover investigation on this one guy that worked for the Department of the Navy. His name is Brandon Newsom. He's the Navy Secretary's Director of Business Operations. Evidently, he's gay because Jamie O'Keefe, uh, okay, Jamie O'Keefe, secretly recorded the Navy Secretary's Director of Business Operations, Brandon Newsom, while the pair were out on a quote unquote date. Okay. Newsom claimed in O'Keefe's footage, which was filmed, that the president is a narcissist and criticized the war in the Middle East. This is someone that works for the president of the United States. All right. He quoted, "Yeah, I think the war in Iran is completely stupid, but it's driven on one man's President Trump's ego to me, in my own personal opinion." The Pentagon official also said he plans to stay with the department past the Trump's administration so he can undo whatever's been done at the Pentagon once the president leaves office. Uh, Newsom said one thing he would like to change is the Pentagon's monthly voluntarily faith service policy, which is strictly Christian, and he would like to make it a prayer service for all religions. Secretary of Navy Hung Cao, which is a very good naval officer, said Newsom has been placed on administrative leave while the department considers its next steps, and that the statements the official made are inappropriate, incompatible with the statements expected of department personnel. The Department of the Navy takes the conduct shown in this video extremely serious. Oh boy, I wish I could have saw that video. He went on a date. Jamie O'Keefe is straight as an arrow, right? He got him pretty good. Let's see, 8:47. I'm going to have to. Oh man, I'm missing out a whole bunch of. Oh my goodness, man. Wow. Okay. So I'm not going to have enough time to get to the rest of this stuff. I am so sorry, but I got to sign off in 2 minutes. Look, there's a lot going down. Be patient with the president. No matter what these polls are saying, stay true to the Republican Party and give the president some room to execute what he needs to do for his presidency. What you got to do is somehow get these Democrats to actually see you in a few. I'm hungry. All right. That was retired Rob 53. All right. That's good. He's going to join us for breakfast. You got to somehow get these obstructionist Democrats out of the way. You in November, you have to vote these guys out and get these Republicans in and give the president 2 more years to prevent the destruction of our country. Because what they did and what they're planning to do to our country is unacceptable. It's illegal. And the only way we can prevent it from happening is to keep putting Republicans in office. That's the only way you're going to do it. You got to keep your faith. You got to get out there and vote, and you got to vote for Republicans. And you can't be a fair weather Republican, a Republican in name only. You got to be. I'm like a 10-hour Republican. I always vote Republican. Get Republicans in. Keep Texas red. Keep the U.S. red, and make America great again. Okay, it's the only way we can manage manage to be successful in a country. Hold on to say, Scott, yes, he said breakfast because retired Rob 53 and Covite for Life and us, we get together on Fridays for breakfast. Uh, but you are in West Virginia, and that's a long way to drive to eat breakfast with us, okay? You could always move to Texas and eat with us on Fridays if you would like. That's always open. You know, everybody from New York and California moved to Texas anyway. You might as well come our way also. All right. That's my tourism and immigration speech to people that live in Martinsburg, West Virginia. All right. So let me get out of here. I'm going to go eat breakfast with Ricky and Rob. All right. Y'all have a great weekend. I'm going to try that podcast out for tomorrow morning. Let's see if I can make it work. Okay. So this is James Pierce with the JP8 report. I will catch you on the flip side. I'm out.